Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be distinguishing between TE and TI. I'm Noor. I'm an NETI, so TI is obviously superior. I mean, not to like brag or anything, but okay. So this is something I'm particularly passionate about, and then I saw that David Shan made a video about it, and then I was like, you know what? About time that I actually film it and stop thinking about it. So TI, in my mind, focuses more on the why, whereas TE focuses more on the what. To further elaborate, say a phenomenon occurs, say you get hungry. TI is more likely to be like, I wonder why I get hungry. TE is going to be more like, it's time for me to alleviate this hunger, so I must eat. I'm not saying that this is the case with everyone, but I think TE kind of goes to the easiest possible route to find out the answers, and it doesn't care that much about depth as long as what needs to get done kind of gets done. Whereas TI is more focused on why processes occur in the first place. That's my take on it. So TI will probably focus on why is it that you're getting hungry, whereas TE is just going to focus on like alleviating the hunger. Problem here lies, or not a problem, but I guess a situational example that I can give you is that, like, say you just ate 40 minutes ago and you go sit down on a table with all your friends and your friends are eating again, you are going to be more likely to feel hungry. Now here's the thing, hunger is not completely biological, it's also environmental. So I guess in that context the TE is more likely to just be like, oh, I'm hungry again, let me just eat a little bit more, so that I get not hungry. Whereas a TI is going to be more like, the reasons why I'm probably hungry is because, not because my actual body needs that kind of food again, it's because I'm sitting with all of these people who are eating, so the sight and the smell and the thoughts of food are making me more hungry, because evolutionarily speaking, that's how we worked. When we thought about food, or when we saw food, or when we smelled food, we had to gather as many resources as possible because we didn't know when we would get food the next time. So this long pattern of thought that I just had, that you can kind of say that is a more TI mechanism of thinking. I'm not saying that TE does not have this, I'm just saying that it's more, I think it's easier for an individual with TI to kind of have this trail of thinking. Now here's the thing, neither one is right or wrong, but the way that I look at it is that TE focuses more on accuracy. So TE focuses more on hitting the aim in a certain direction, whereas TI focuses more on validity, which is how valid is this concept or this thought that that you're talking about. So it's almost like David Shan's system itself, right? Like the OP system. You look at TE and you're just like, okay, the way that they look at it is that they do double-blind testing, which is a form of measurement of accuracy. So if everybody, so big TE belief would be that if everybody is looking at this and if everybody's seeing the same thing, that means it must be true. But we're a lot more complex than that, unfortunately. So we need to see whether what we're measuring is even valid, right? So you can have all of this data that means the same thing, that's almost correlational, but that doesn't mean that it's what actually leads to the final result. By that, what I mean is that, okay, so according to TE, this is extremely correct. You're seeing these parts that are NI or NE or TITE, FIFE, whereas a more TI way of thinking about it is that, sure, everybody's seeing this thing, but just because everybody's seeing this thing, it doesn't mean that what they're seeing is actually true. So a good way to think about this would simply just be, we're measuring the OP system in this way that provides answers that are accurate, but what we're measuring, is that even real? Now that would be the question of validity, right? So is what we're measuring valid? If you have a question and you answer all of these, and the answers that you measure from these questions, like everybody has the same answers, you can cluster them and you can say that the answer is like X, Y, or Z, or this person's an ENFP or an ENTP. But does an ENFP or ENTP even exist? Are you measuring the correct thing? Is the OP system even valid in the sense of like, is how they describe TI or introverted thinking actually introverted thinking? Or is how they define an ENTP or the components of ENTP even a thing in reality? Or are they just measuring something that's actually not real? Again, this is just a hypothetical situation. I'm not saying that either it's true or it's not. Although it does lack scientific evidence, which is fine, because that's the process of like getting there. You build a theory, you form hypotheses, you test these hypotheses, and then you test and then you retest, etc. It seems like they're doing a very good job at being valid, but it's not valid, at being accurate, but the validity needs some more work, which makes sense, because neither of them have TI, in my opinion. But again, I don't even know if TI is real, right? Because if there's anything we learned from TI, is that we have to really see whether anything that we're measuring is actually a thing in reality. So TI, you could say, is also more likely to consider context in the scenario, because that gives a more clear picture of reality. Again, not saying anything's better than the other, but what I just mean to say is that that's how I think the TE and TI are different, and that's how you can almost view them. So I hope this helped clear some stuff up. But if you do want to just like Google validity versus accuracy, TE, validity, TI. That's the way I look at it, at least, and it really helps me understand. And I'm not all that bad at typing people, according to the OPS system, so, or the OPS typology. Alright, well, that's all for today. See you later, loves.